On Thai PBS World Tonight, more cabinet lineup rumors, and what about the controversial minister Thammanat Phrompao? The main opposition People's Party offers moral support to the new prime minister. And Thailand loses hosting of major sports event. Very good evening, and you're watching Thai PBS World Tonight. I'm Nat Bunag, and we'll begin tonight with the latest in Thai politics. Whenever there's a new leader, there are always rumors and speculations as to who will be joining the new cabinet and who will also be dropped. It is also common to witness horse trading within each of the coalition parties in the government as well. And during the past week, there have been media speculations as to who will be dropped out of the cabinet. But for the very first time in Thailand's political history, professional ethics and backgrounds of each of the ministers are being taken into account. And this follows the Constitutional Court's ruling last week, and that has ousted Sethar Thavisin as the prime minister. And so whoever is chosen as the new minister, and if they have been convicted before, it can also put the prime minister in trouble. And one of the ministers being questioned at the moment is the agriculture minister Thammanat Phrompao from the Palang Pracharat party. And to give you a background as to why Thammanat is being questioned, Thammanat was jailed for 4 years in 1994 for his role in a heroin smuggling case in Australia. And although politicians from the opposition camp pointed out that he's unfit as a minister, the Thai court said that it did not recognize his conviction because the verdict was delivered in a foreign country. And yesterday, there has been media speculation that Thammanat is likely to be dropped from the cabinet. However, there are some reports earlier today stating that the Palang Pracharat party will continue to be part of the Pheu Thai-led coalition, and Thammanat's name has already been included in the list of proposed cabinet ministers by the party. But throughout the day, there have been a lot of rumors that Thammanat is not happy with what is happening within the party and the Pheu Thai-led coalition. And there have been reports saying that Thammanat has threatened to quit the Palang Pracharat party and to cut all of his ties with the current party leader, General Prawit Wongsuwan, after there have been reports that he's excluded from the party's cabinet minister list, and he even felt that the Pheu Thai party does not even want him. And he even told reporters earlier today that it is about time for him to leave the party and not argue with anyone else. And like we said earlier, there have been conflicting reports about whether Thammanat is included or not included in the cabinet list. And Thammanat held a press conference in the afternoon in response to such rumors as to whether he's dropped from the cabinet or not, and also frictions within the Palang Pracharat party and its party leader, General Prawit Wongsuwan. And this was what he said.
ผมไม่ทะเลาะกับใครนะครับประสบการณ์6 ปีที่ผ่านมาผมรับใช้บุคคลหนึ่งพรรคหนึ่งมามากพอสมควรแล้วมันถึงเวลาที่ผมต้องเดินออกมาแบบไม่ทะเลาะกับใครคือเราต้องเคารพนะครับในการตัดสินใจของผู้นำรัฐบาลไม่ใช่ใครคิดจะเขียนหรือเสนอชื่อใครนะครับผู้นำรัฐบาลจะต้องเอาตามนั้นโดยเฉพาะยิ่งในกรณีที่เกิดขึ้นกับพระท่านอดีตรัฐมนตรีท่านนายกเศรษฐาทวีสินการเมืองเป็นเรื่องละเอียดอ่อนนะครับอันนั้นจะทำอะไรก็ตามเราต้องคิดถึงบ้านเมืองเป็นหลักอย่าหลงอำนาจนะครับจนไม่ลืมหูลืมตาไม่รู้จักความชั่วดีบ้านเมืองบอบช้ำมามากพอแล้วอย่าให้มันเกิดความแตกแยกอีกเลยนะครับ
อาจารย์พิบูลกับผมก็ทำงานกันมาตั้งแต่ปี2561นะครับแล้วก็ให้เกียรติซึ่งกันและกันอาจารย์ก็มาให้กำลังใจนะครับก็มาคุยกับผมซึ่งผมก็กราบเรียนอาจารย์ว่าผมไม่ได้มีตั้งป้อมที่จะทะเลาะกับใครผมบอกแล้วผมไม่ทะเลาะกับใครนะครับแต่ผมขอมีจุดยืนเป็นของตัวเองนะครับผมอยู่กับพรรคมานะครับผมว่า นานที่สุดแล้วนะครับในบรรดาพี่น้องสสนะครับอยู่ตั้งแต่พรรคยังเป็นวุ้นอยู่นะครับอันนั้นผมร่วมสร้างพรรคพลังประชารัฐมานะครับแล้วก็รับใช้ในฐานะที่เป็นเลขาพรรคนะครับในฐานะเป็นรองหัวหน้าพรรคในฐานะที่เป็นประธานที่ดูแลการเลือกตั้งทั้ง17จังหวัดภาคเหนือเมื่อปี2012จนถึงวันนี้นะครับก็ทำดีที่สุดแล้ว
And as you can see that he has decided to part ways with the party leader and the Palang Pracharat party. And these previous speculations that Thammanat may be included also came after reports of a private phone conversations between Palang Pracharat party leader General Prawit and former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, the de facto leader of the Pheu Thai party, to clear the air over some misunderstandings. And this was actually confirmed by General Prawit himself this morning that he has already talked to Thaksin, and he also clarified that he was absent from the voting last Friday because he was at an event celebrating the Thai athletes and coaches who took part in the Paris Olympics. And General Prawit's absence from the voting last Friday reportedly caused resentment among some Pheu Thai party members to a point where there was a rumor that the Wong Suwan family would be excluded from the new cabinet. And recently, General Prawit was also in hot water after he has been caught on camera harassing a Thai PBS reporter when she asked him whether he had watched the live TV broadcast of the House vote on Paetongtarn's nomination. And this is the latest on the Palang Pracharat party and the frictions and also the cabinet rumors as well. But moving on to other politicians, caretaker Defense Minister Sutin Klangsan responds to rumors that he might be removed from his position, and he even told reporters this morning that he is still confident in what he has been doing as the defense minister and that there's still a lot of work to do for the defense ministry. And he seemed to have tried to avoid responding to the rumors that he might be removed from the position in the Paetongtarn cabinet. And looking at other politicians, Waraวุฒิ Silapa Acha, the Chart Thai Pathana party leader, has somehow been rumored that he might be appointed as the Foreign Affairs Minister. However, Waraวุฒิtold reporters that he still wants to stick to the same ministry, which is the Ministry of Social Development and Human Security. He even explained that members of the Chart Thai Pathana party have been working closely with the people, and therefore, if he continues with the same ministry, with the same portfolio, he can continue with his mission, and that would be helpful for the new government. He did acknowledge, though, that this will entirely depend on the ruling Pheu Thai party as to how they would allocate the cabinet positions. And amid the rumors, we still have to wait and see when we will have the official list of the cabinet ministers. And even though Paetongtarn Shinawatra, the current prime minister, promised that the whole list will be finalized by this week, but the new cabinet is not expected to be sworn in for a couple weeks because the Secretary General of the cabinet needs more time to screen every single proposed minister very carefully. Like we said earlier, that the background checks and also the qualifications must be scrutinized a lot more in light of the recent incident last week. And according to Paetongtarn Wichiyachai, all parties are required to submit their list of proposed ministers by today to Dr. Promin Lertsuridet, who has been assigned to oversee the screening process with the Secretary General of the Cabinet. Paetongtarn declined to comment on Thammanat's future, who was reported to have been excluded from the new cabinet, saying that it is an internal affair of the Palang Pracharat party. And here is what he said.
ส่งไปตามกระบวนการครับยังไม่พิจารณาเรื่องตัวบุคคลเลยตอนนี้คือเรื่องจากกระบวนการคัดคุณสมบัติมันยาวนานเพราะนั้นก็อยากให้ส่งคนที่มีคุณสมบัติมาก่อนส่วนจะเอาอะไรยังไงก็ว่าให้ชัดเจนผมพูดชัดเจนไปแล้วว่าถ้าจะร่วมกันก็ต้องเอาให้ชัดเจนมาร่วมกันถ้าร่วมกันแล้วก็ยังมีอะไรที่มันทำให้คลางแคลงใจมันก็เป็นเรื่องไม่สบายใจ
And that was what Paetongtarn Vichayachai said earlier today. And this kind of indicated some frictions within the Palang Pracharat party and possibly some within the Pheu Thai party as well. Meanwhile, caretaker Deputy Prime Minister Somsak Thepsutin said today that all coalition parties must accept the qualification standards for cabinet ministers as set by the Constitutional Court and as manifested in the ruling against former Prime Minister Sethar Thavisin. To give you a recap, Sethar Thavisin was ousted from his prime ministerial post after he was found guilty of ethical misconduct by appointing a convict, Pichit Chunban, as a minister. Somsak said that the Constitutional Court's ruling has set a precedent with which all political parties must comply, adding that the tough screening process may affect some of the candidates, but is unlikely to lead to conflict between the parties. So even though he has assured that it is unlikely to lead to conflict between the political parties within the coalition, but based on what the Palang Pracharat party member Thammanat Phrompao has said, and even what Paetongtarn has said earlier, it has sort of given us signals that there is something wrong at the moment. And we'll still have to wait and see for this week as to whether the cabinet ministers will actually be finalized and whether the conflicts will be resolved. And meanwhile, the opposition People's Party has offered moral support to the new Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawat. And this morning, opposition People's Party MP Sirikanya Tansakul offered moral support to the Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawat, hoping that she will do the job to the best of her ability and promising opposition cooperation in legislative work, including amending the Constitution. However, Sirikanya said that the opposition will still do its job in checking and balancing the government's actions to the fullest, as she urged the Prime Minister to attend parliamentary meetings regularly and to respond to impromptu opposition interpellations. She said that the People's Party does not want to judge the Prime Minister's capability based only upon her presentation of the government's vision to Parliament, but on a longer-term basis. Sirikanya said that the opposition will also follow up on the policies pledged by the Pheu Thai party since the election in May last year to see whether it has delivered on its promises. Let's have a listen.
คิดว่าทางฝ่ายค้านเนี่ยคงเฝ้ารอวันที่จะมีการกำหนดให้มีการแถลงนโยบายค่ะเพื่อที่จะได้นำมาศึกษาแล้วก็วิพากษ์วิจารณ์กันอีกครั้งหนึ่งนะคะก็ถือว่าเป็นครั้งที่2สำหรับรัฐบาลนี้ในการที่จะแถลงนโยบายค่ะซึ่งเราก็คงจะต้องติดตามกันต่อนะคะไม่ว่าจะเป็นการทวงสัญญาที่ได้หาเสียงไว้ในเรื่องต่างๆนะคะการตรวจการบ้านของ1 ปีของผลงานของรัฐบาลที่ผ่านมานะคะรวมไปถึงเสนอแนะแนวทางออกนะคะเพื่อที่จะทำให้เหมาะสมกับสถานการณ์ที่เกิดขึ้นมากขึ้นด้วยนะคะซึ่งแน่นอนว่าบรรดานโยบายที่ได้หาเสียงไว้ก็คงจะต้องพูดถึงตัวนโยบายของ Digital Wallet ด้วยนะคะซึ่งตอนนี้มีข่าวออกมาค่อนข้างมากค่ะว่าจะมีการเปลี่ยนแปลงรูปแบบไปต่างๆนานาค่ะแต่ว่าอย่างไรก็ตามเราก็คงจะต้องรอฟังการแถลงนโยบายรวมไปถึงการให้รายละเอียดกับจากทางครม.อีกครั้งหนึ่งหลังจากที่ได้มีการถวายสัตย์ค่ะก็ถือว่ายังคงต้องให้โอกาสรัฐบาลใหม่เนี่ยได้ไปเตรียมความพร้อมในเรื่องนี้เพื่อนำเสนอต่อสภาผู้แทนราษฎรค่ะ
And like we previously reported that there have been a lot of concerns regarding the future of the digital wallet scheme, which the media has came up with a few scenarios as to what will happen to the scheme, whether it's that they will continue with the scheme to keep to its promises or downsize the digital wallet scheme to only the financially fragile people, or possibly they might postpone the digital wallet scheme or just cancel the scheme. But regarding this issue, which may be subject to review, the People's Party MP Sirikanya said that if the government decides to give out cash instead of the digital money, it would actually satisfy the wishes of most of the people. However, she noted that it would depend on where the cash would come from and how much would be dispersed.
ค่ะก็เชื่อได้ว่าถ้ามีการเปลี่ยนแปลงใดๆที่เกิดขึ้นเนี่ยค่ะก็คงจะเป็นไปเพื่อทำให้โครงการมีความละเอียดรอบคอบมากขึ้นเป็นไปตามกฎหมายวินัยการเงินการคลังมากขึ้นนะคะโดยที่รูปแบบจะเปลี่ยนไปอย่างไรเนี่ยเราคงต้องจับตาดูอีกครั้งหนึ่งนะคะถ้าแจกเป็นเงินสดก็อาจจะทำให้ตรงกับความต้องการตรงกับพฤติกรรมของผู้ใช้หรือว่าประชาชนทั่วไปมากยิ่งขึ้นนะคะก็อาจจะทำให้ลดเสียงวิพากษ์วิจารณ์นะคะหรือว่าเสียงบ่นจากพี่น้องประชาชนลงไปค่ะแต่ว่าก็ต้องมาดูในเรื่องของที่มาของเงินด้วยว่าจะแจกได้เท่าไหร่ถ้าจะเป็นเงินสดจริงๆค่ะเพราะว่ามันก็เกี่ยวพันกับหลายๆเรื่องเช่นเดียวกันซึ่งทางรัฐบาลเองยังไม่มีการแถลงความชัดเจนซึ่งเข้าใจได้เนื่องจากว่ายังไม่มีครม.ยังไม่ได้แถลงนโยบายนะคะก็ยังคงไม่ได้เอาเข้าสู่การพิจารณาของคณะรัฐมนตรีด้วยซ้ำไปก็คงจะต้องให้โอกาสให้เวลากับทางรัฐบาลได้เตรียมตัวค่ะ
And that was what Sri Kanya Tansukun said about the digital wallet scheme. So this will actually depend on the policy statement delivered by Paetongtarn, which won't be in a few weeks, considering that we still have to wait for the cabinet to be formed and for them to be sworn in, and then Paetongtarn will deliver its policy statement to the parliament. And regarding the changes in the cabinet, Sri Kanya also stated that the change in the cabinet lineup will not change the way the opposition parties have been working to monitor the performance of the Pheu Thai-led government. And as for the no confidence debate against the Paetongtarn government, whether there will be any in this time or not, she said that since the Prime Minister is a newcomer and fresh in the office, Sri Kanya does not yet see any issues on which to question her in Parliament, adding that a censure debate can still wait. So we'll have to wait to see her Paetongtarn's performance in Parliament and what the cabinet will look like, and the answer will be out in a few weeks, and we'll have to wait and see for that. And now let's move on to other stories, but this may not be good news for Thailand because they actually tried to aim to host a major sporting event at the end of this year, but recently the Olympic Council of Asia, or the OCA, has decided to revoke Thailand's hosting of the Asian Indoor and Martial Arts Games scheduled to take place in Bangkok and Chonburi this November. Hossein Al-Masalam, the Director General of the OCA, wrote in a letter that the decision was made by the OCA Executive Board of the 6th Asian Indoor and Martial Arts Games due to concerns that Thailand would not be able to fulfill the preparation requirements in time. The letter says that since the budget has still not been released, this will have a domino effect on all the functional areas, and the operation of the games will be seriously affected. And with only 3 months to go before the games and no test events in sight, the OCA cannot risk the games and has decided to cancel. The letter was addressed to General Prawit Wongsuwan, the president of the National Olympic Committee of Thailand, and Kongsak Yodmani, the governor of the Sports Authority of Thailand. Kongsak has told reporters that the cancellation has negatively impacted Thailand's confidence and image, adding that Bangkok will also have to pay compensation to the OCA, which will include license fees for live broadcast and about 50 million baht for IT system installation. However, he did not reveal the exact amount of compensation due, but claimed that Thailand has already allocated more than 980 million baht for the preparations. He even said that if Thailand refuses to pay the compensation, it could risk its athletes being banned from the Asian Games in Japan in 2026 because participation of Thai athletes must be arranged through the OCA. So this is actually not looking good for Thailand in terms of major sporting events right here. So we'll have to wait and see how they will actually resolve or solve the situation right here. All right, and that wraps up tonight's edition of Thai PBS World Tonight. Join us every Monday and Tuesday at 6 p.m. on Thai PBS World's Facebook and YouTube Live. And don't forget to follow us on social media and our website, thaipbsworld.com, for all the latest updates about Thailand as well as analyses. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. สวัสดีค่ะ